And it felt like my life was just kind of a downward spiral, and it kept going and going, and until basically I would say a miracle happened. Hi, I'm Jeffrey. I'm 22 years old, and I'm studying software engineering in Heilbronn right now. I grew up with parents who were missionaries, and for their work I moved around a lot. And so basically I moved the first time when I was 8, and with 20 I moved for the 10th time. And so that's a lot of moving, and with every move I would lose all of my friends, and so at that time I wasn't able to keep in contact with basically anybody. And so there were several times in my life where I just lost my best friends, and that really was difficult for me. And the thing is, I also switched cultures, and so it wasn't just that I moved, it was also that everything changed. And so I had lived in the US, I've lived in Germany, and I've lived in Switzerland. And it was the French-speaking part of Switzerland, so you've got a different language, you've got a different culture, you've got different people, and it was just very difficult. And yeah, so I basically from that I was depressed, but it was also difficult because part of the time my parents weren't there. My father started doing missionary trips, and he was gone for several weeks, and also there were times in school where I was bullied, and just in general there were times where I was bullied by people, and I just closed off. I just started to get this worldview that basically people are either mean, or they're going to leave you, or they're going to disappoint you, and I just felt like it wasn't worth getting to know people anymore. I felt a lot of hate, and I just really sunk and lost myself in those emotions. And that just kept going, and it felt like my life was just kind of a downward spiral. And it kept going and going, and until basically I would say a miracle happened. And that was, I was in a small group at that time, and basically the small group leader had to leave middle of the school year, and it was very sudden, and for some reason at that exact time a new person had arrived who was going to take over the small group, and he offered to do mentoring with each of us. I didn't really feel much like a Christian, but the thing is, it was a Christian culture that I was living in, and I just kind of fit in, and so I said, yeah, sure, why not? I can talk about Christian stuff. I know a lot about that. To be honest, it's very easy to talk about Christian topics and to discuss about these inane subjects without really feeling anything. And so we started doing that, and it was very difficult for me to open up to him as well. And so we didn't really talk about anything deep or personal to me until at some point I just kind of broke down. I couldn't keep going with the way that things were, because I just felt completely and utterly lost. And so basically there was just this one night, and I just couldn't deal with it, and I didn't really know who to turn to. I didn't want to turn to my parents, I didn't want to turn to my family or friends, because I didn't feel close to any of them. And so I just didn't know who to reach out to, so I reached out to him, to my mentor, and he was there for me, and that was for me a moment that really changed my life. At the time, the thing that I was struggling the most with was the hate that I felt towards the people who had hurt me. And what happened was, he explained to me that forgiving somebody does not mean that what they did was okay. It doesn't make what they did right. But what it does mean is that you give up the right to vengeance. And basically, it doesn't so much free them as it frees you. It gives you the freedom to continue with your life. It was kind of this battle in me, really, because I wanted to forgive them on the one hand, but on the other hand, I was so mad at them. I was so angry and hurt. And so for a couple of weeks, I just kind of had to force myself. It was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to forgive them. And it was just this over and over again, just reminding myself, I'm forgiving this person, I'm forgiving them. And I was so stuck in this hatred that I didn't want to give it up. And I was so stuck in these depressive thoughts that I didn't want to stop having them. And I don't think I would have been able to free myself from that. But this one night, I was able to see that. And when I saw that, God showed me what love is, and it was this incredible moment, because for an hour or so, that was the only thing that happened. He showed me what love feels like, what love is, and for that hour, it was just a complete shift in the way that I thought, because I knew what it meant to be loved, and because I was loved, I was able to love other people as well. And in that hour, I didn't think, now I can forgive them. It was even more than that. I was able to think, how can I not forgive them? If I have so much love, how could I not forgive the people who've hurt me? And that was just a magical moment, just an incredible moment where everything just changed. Instead of everything going worse and worse, things started getting better. And I was able to start opening up to my mentor and talking about my problems and learning to reflect on things and stuff. And then that was basically the point where school ended. So I was looking for where I wanted to go next, and that was actually when I found Lebenstraum. And basically, I ended up here, and it was really the best place for me to be, because I had just decided, okay, I'm gonna open up. And then I was in this atmosphere where everybody was a Christian, where they were loving, where they cared and respected you. And I had time to think about all the things that were bothering me and in my head. And it was just the time that I needed. And it just helped me to turn around my life. And after that, I was able to talk with and fix the relationships with the people who had hurt me even. And it's just something I would definitely recommend. Of course, there's some cases, I wouldn't recommend this in like an abusive situation. In that situation, you just need to keep yourself safe. But if you can, I really recommend just fixing the relationships you have, and definitely getting and seeking the help that you need, and just being honest with what really is bothering you.